All right. Well, it's not true here, but Eckhart Tolle wrote, "It is not uncommon for people to spend their whole life waiting to start living." And we asked ourselves last Sunday how we were feeling about ourselves in life in this new year. And it's a question that we might want to ask ourselves every day of this year, long after this new year is no longer new, time-wise. Am I feeling happy right now with myself and life? Or am I waiting to see how this year goes before I decide if I'm happy about it or not? Am I delighted in this moment just to be alive in this moment? Or am I waiting for the next moment or the next moment to show me something more to be delighted about than just being alive right now? And am I filled with positive anticipation about the good experience that this year may hold for me and the whole world? I mean, more peace and love and joy and well-being, more consideration, compassion, and understanding. Or am I personally waiting to see how the elections turn out, or how my financial situation goes, or how my relationships go, or how my health goes? Am I waiting to see if what I want comes and what I don't want goes before I decide that this year is worth being excited about? If we're waiting for the world to change or someone in this world to change besides ourselves, before we start living the life we want to live, then we're going to have to wait a long time. Because, as Gandhi said, we have to be the change we want to see. What we're waiting for can't come to us, or at least it won't come to us as quickly as we'd like it to come to us, unless we start living as if it's on its way. Just the way we happily anticipate that someone we love is on their way to come and be with us. We wait with joyous anticipation because we know they're on their way. As we said last Sunday, until we start acting as though it were and feeling happy as though it is and being grateful for each moment of its becoming manifest in our life, we're not calling the good times to us because we're not in the vibrational neighborhood where the good times roll. One of the first steps in our living with unconditional vibrational happiness is deciding that we want to be happy for no other reason than it feels good to be happy and it brings good when we're happy. And then to notice how it feels within us when we are happy and how it feels within us when we're not. To be aware of our feelings at all times so that we can decide to feel good and feel the good times into manifestation as often as possible. Eckhart Tolle wrote, "Remember that your perception of the world is a reflection of your state of consciousness. You are not separate from it, and there is no objective world out there. Every moment, your consciousness creates the world that you inhabit. What we're conscious of, what we're aware of, what we focus on, creates the world we individually inhabit. We're like the storyteller of that world. When we talk to others about our life, we're revealing the thoughts and images in our mind that make up the world we see. We could say that our thoughts write the story, and our life experiences as they unfold visibly and physically are the movie we're making from the story in our mind. Because we are each individual storytellers of our life and no one can tell our story but us, I thought it would be fun if my talk titles this month reflected how we go about making the movie of our life. Whether it looks like a Hallmark movie or if it looks like it belongs on the Sci-Fi Channel. Now, as it's been mentioned, today's title is Raw Footage. And next week, it will be behind the scenes. And then on the last Sunday in January, it's going to be It's a Wrap. So, keep those in mind. Little teaser to show up. Now, as many of us know, raw footage refers to all the unprocessed film gathered from a live shoot that comes directly from the camera. It's completely unedited. It's not cleaned up or enhanced in any way. It's simply the camera's unadulterated sensor data before any image processing that would make it appear differently than the raw footage. The processing and editing is done by the storyteller, so that the final version of what is seen reflects the story the storyteller wants to tell. And we know that it happens in movies, and we see it on TV, and it sometimes happens in news reports that we see. Well, in the same way, it's what occurs for all of us as we tell our story of how we believe life goes. Our thinking does the editing, and it does it automatically and instantaneously, and that becomes what we perceive of the world. Course in Miracles tells us that everything in the world of perception, what we're perceiving, is neutral. In other words, it's raw footage. It's what our eyes would take in and see of life in the silence of pure awareness, without one thought to judge it or change it or alter it in any way. But our mind thinks and processes images all the time. A Course in Miracles goes on to say, besides your recognizing that thoughts are never idle, it's important that you recognize that a neutral result is impossible because a neutral thought is impossible. Every thought you have brings either peace or war, either love or fear, either joy or sadness, either something wanted or something unwanted. Every thought. So why would we want to think thoughts and see life in a way we don't want to see it? Well, mostly it's because we believe that that's the way it is. We believe what we see because we see only what we believe. Whenever you say, I don't believe that, I don't believe it, I don't believe it, don't believe that. Because we can't see what we don't believe. There's a lot around us that we're not seeing because we don't believe it's there. The raw footage of this world is done unto us and unto our view by what we believe is true, even if we wish it weren't true. Now, some of us may think that we are absolutely capable of observing the world around us without influencing what we're observing. But the influence of our thoughts and beliefs is so quick and automatic. It's easy for us to be under the false impression that things are happening around us without our mental input as to what it's all about. I mean, those people are bad and they're mean and they're crazy and they're untrustworthy, whether I think so or not. But we just declared what we think, whether we think so or not. Science has proven that in a scientific experiment that the observer and what is observed can't be separated. There's not the observer and not the observed. It's one thing. Thought causes the visible results. Anthropologists know that they can't go into a remote area and observe a people and a culture without affecting the results in some way. I mean, it seems almost magical, and it certainly is miraculous, that we can think a thought and believe that it's true and give it power to create for us right before our eyes. That's pretty miraculous. Mooji wrote, "No thought has any power. You have power. And when you identify and believe in the thought, you give it power." How could life not appear unto us individually as it does if it's done unto us with our own creative power of belief? Now, we all see things uniquely because we are created in an infinite universe that doesn't need or desire to repeat itself. I mean, after God saw everything that he'd made and beheld it as very good, it's likely he said, "I don't need to do that again." We perceive life differently according to what we've been taught by others about life and through our individual life experiences that validate for us that it is true. Now, sometimes those around us perceive life pretty close to the way we do it, or maybe just a little bit differently, and then there are those who perceive life in a way different way than we do. And so sometimes we argue with them about their point of view because it differs so much from the way that we see things. And naturally, we believe our way is the right way. Seems the kinder way, the more compassionate way. And so we believe that it's the actual raw footage of the only reality. Can't fool us. We see it like it is. But what we all are seeing are images being processed in our own mind with our thoughts and then perceived in the world. Everyone's perception of everything and everyone is done unto them as they believe. Everyone. No one escapes the results or consequences of their own thoughts. all perception that anyone is perceiving begins in the mind, because there's no other place for any of us to be aware of anything. Awareness is within us. Consciousness is within us. There's no other place for it to happen but within us. And though we may agree or disagree with the story of life that someone else is telling, or they may agree or disagree with the story we're telling, we all believe our point of view is true, because that's the way we see things. It's our individual version of what is. That's why we talk about raising our vibration and being happy, because our happy vibration and our unhappy vibration, our peaceful vibration and our conflicting vibration influences our version of what is wherever we are. Our mood and attitude influences how we want to see whatever is going on and how we want to interact with the people around us. In every moment, we attract people and events and conditions that validate how we're feeling. If we're in a bad mood, we are going to attract people to bug us. We know that. And things are not going to work out for us because we're attracting things that happen in that vibration. So we get to choose, no matter what has happened in that moment, what we're going to focus on next, and what we're going to hold on to, and what ends up on the cutting room floor. It's up to us to hold on to it or let it go. Now, there's a phrase that Hawaiians use when they sit down with each other to converse. They say, "Let's talk story." And when we talk story, we're sharing the contents of our mind and the story of life as we see it. We talk story all the time. Matter of fact, anything we say is part of our story. So we want to ask ourselves, what story do we tell ourselves about ourselves and life? What story do we tell others about who we are and how the world goes? What story do we give power to manifest in our life and in the world? If we want this year to bring us something new, we need to influence our own point of view. We have to begin to tell the story of our life and the world the way we want it to be now. And stop telling tales of how it has been or pointing our finger at what is and blaming. We need to decide to stop complaining about the old and start proclaiming the new if we want to experience it in our individual life and in the world. We can change our narrative and change our life, because as we change what we talk about and focus on, it changes what we see. Just because it's always been that way doesn't mean that it's the way it has to stay. Everything in this world of perception is changeable, and that change is up to each of us. It's up to the story we tell, the story we want to tell, the one we want to be, the ones we want to see. Our thoughts are never idle. And this year will be as spectacular as we allow our story about it to be. Abraham Hicks tells us, be as happy as you want to be in a world gone mad. Be as safe as you want to be in a world that is afraid of everything. Be as healthy as you want to be in a world that is mostly sick. Don't let the statistics that someone else has created affect you. You get to choose. You are wise enough, smart enough, deliberate enough. Namaste. All right. Well, our intrepid treasurer is back, and she will be up shortly. But this is the time of our service when we say thank you, thank you, thank you for being here in person, for your good vibes, your high vibes. Thank you for joining us from home. We feel you. Thank you for caring about the message of the Life Enrichment Center, and thank you for wanting to be a messenger, a part of that message, because as we come together, we are all messengers, and our message is love. And so that makes us all messengers of love. And so we are on a journey of newness. And we're allowing the love that we are and the love that is to unfold right before our eyes with all that we need in every moment to lead us forward into what's next for LEC. We're excited about that. And if you'd like to join in the excitement, then our journey requires financial support. Those of us who are already on the journey and feel the excitement are already supporting that journey. But if you haven't yet, and you heard something today, or you just haven't gotten excited in your life yet and you'd like to, well, now's the time to get excited about supporting LEC and joining LEC as we move forward and we move onward and upward. So if you're wondering how to do that, then our treasurer, Dr. Jamie Phillips, is here to tell you how.
Thank you. Whew. She did pretty good last week, didn't she? I thought you ran through that.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I was watching. Someone clapped for you.
Jim. He always claps.
I know, he always claps for me too. Thank you, Jim. Okay, I'm going to talk about how you can donate to the Life Enrichment Center. We love your donations. And so here we go. You can go via Facebook at facebook.com/Life Enrichment Center and hit the donate button. You can go to our website, lecflint.com. There's a donate button on that site, and you're welcome to hit that button and donate. You can go to PayPal. Laura, you know our PayPal address? Okay. Laura's not big on PayPal.
She's ignoring you.
Our email address for PayPal is lec2512@gmail.com. And you can donate to us via PayPal. You can send us a check to our P.O. Box. Laura's messing with me now. Our P.O. Box, Life Enrichment Center. The P.O. Box is 321294, Flint, Michigan 48532.
Woo-hoo!
Thank you, Jim. And we're going to do an offertory here. Jim, could you take the offertory for us? And while we listen to Nemo Patel and Daniel Namad singing Grateful, and then Reverend Stephanie will be up for gratitude prayer. Thank you so much.